What's up, guys? Week number 4. It was a good week. I had 2 auditions this week. And I actually have, up to this point in the year, I have 4 straight up offers for films, indie films, all shooting at some point this summer. So I think that brings my current standings in 2018 to I think 10 auditions, 1 callback, 0 bookings, but it's good. I'm feeling good. And like I said, I have 4 offers at this point, and I've been offered things for a few years now, and I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about that for now. So these are 4 indie films. These are through people that I have worked with in the past, or at least I have met them in the past on a project. So that's kind of how a lot of this stuff happens. The whole it's who you know, not what you know kind of thing that goes on. But I had to turn down one of the 4 offers already. But I loved the script, and I love this director. I haven't worked with him before, but I love all his films. He has a really great sense of humor. His style is great. The reason I turned it down, well, if you love him so much, why'd you turn him down? Well, there was a little too much nudity. There's a little too much sexual stuff going on for my prude self. But it was just a little too much for my liking. It was a lot of full nudity, a lot of sex going on, and I don't mind that stuff. I don't mind doing that stuff at all. I've done some of that in the past, but this was just a little excessive for my tastes. So I had to pass. So hopefully in the future we can work on something different together. But anyway, the other 3 offers. One, I'm not sure if it is definitely happening. Or I should say 2 of them actually are not definitely happening. That's what happens sometimes, is people present offers to me, and then something falls through with financing or what, like just something happens. They lose filming locations, or they can't get their stuff organized fast enough, get their shit together. So that happens too. One is a definite go, and I'm excited for that. That shoots up in New York, so I will be doing that one. So I should say maybe I should say there's 1 booking so far. So 1 booking. So anyway, kind of going into, I had some good questions last week sent in. Like, one was like, what advice would I give to an actor who's just starting out? Or another one was, how did I get started? How did I get an agent? That kind of stuff. So I think those are fantastic, and I do want to talk about those. Not today, since I was talking a little bit about the nudity, and with all the stuff that kind of goes on in Hollywood, I thought maybe it'd be a good time to just talk a little bit about my experience with the nudity and sexual nature of Hollywood. So 2 quick stories. I don't want to talk for 15 minutes. So anyway, my very first huge studio production, which was my first experience with nudity, was this movie called The Good Shepherd. Robert De Niro directed. Matt Damon was the star of the film. This happened back in, 2000, I want to say 6-ish, somewhere in there. So I was a background actor. I was doing a lot of background back then. And they needed a body double for this guy in the movie who jumps out of a window he kills himself, and when he does it, he's naked for some reason, whatever. So they told me I was part of this casting company that just looks for extras, and when a film or TV project needs an extra, they reach out to this company and they say, "Hey, who do you have that matches this?" Blah 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 blah. So my profile matched my statistics, like my height and weight and my general build and look, was very similar to this actor who kills himself in the movie. Now, this actor, like I said, he's nude, so they wanted to see what I would look like nude. I wasn't nude. They didn't request a picture of me nude, but they did request a picture of me in a bathing suit and my bare ass, because my bare ass would be on screen. So I was like, yeah, no problem, I'll do that. I never have a problem with showing my ass. It's just, you know, the other thing. I have to be choosy when I'm showing that in the camera, unless it's straight up porn, because heaven knows I will whip it out for porn anytime. That is not true. Don't worry, Mom. Anyway, so I sent him a picture, and they said it was going to Robert De Niro, that he was gonna be the guy to approve this. And I heard back like an hour later, and it's like, yeah, looks good. So I'm like, dude, Robert De Niro, he just saw my ass, and he approves. Awesome. I'm doing this. So anyway, I don't want to make this too huge of a story because I have another one to tell. But anyway, I go to set that day, and I'm in New York City. I'm in the middle of Manhattan. I'm trying to find where I'm supposed to go. There's like no sign of film equipment. I lifted or Ubered or took a taxi or whatever down to the location. No, I didn't. I took a train down there. What am I thinking? I took a train down, and I couldn't find anybody. I walked blocks before I found somebody. I asked where to go. They told me to go to this church. I walk in this church, and Robert De Niro's in there in between the double doors, and he's on the cell phone. And I didn't know what to do. I was stupid and naive, so I was like, I guess I just talked to Robert De Niro about this. So I kind of walked up to him. He was kind of pacing back and forth. And I said, hey, Mr. De Niro. And he turns around and he does this, because he's on the phone. So I got out of there quick. So then I went back to the person I talked to, and they said, oops, sorry, you're in the wrong location. They sent me down to another location. Fast forward. So they put me in the wardrobe. They give me like sweatpants and a jacket. Now this is the middle of January, and I'm wearing that. I take a transpo van down to the set, which is down in the middle of Manhattan. It's like, I don't know, it was like 14th Street and 5th Ave, something like that. So I go down there, and at this point it's nighttime, so I'm just waiting in the van until they're ready for me. And I see all the lights, and there's crowds of people everywhere, because this is New York City. The movie lights are out, and everybody wants to see a piece of the action. No pun intended. And let me get out of the sun. So then they call. I see like the guy that I'm playing. I see him prepping. I see the lights kind of, or the stand, and I see what I'm about to do. They lay the dead body on the ground. I know that's the position I'm going to be in, but he's laying face up. I'm like, whoa. They told me my ass was going to be on screen, not my dingle hopper. And I go out there, and they're like, yeah, we're going to have you face up. And I'm like, holy shit. So my dick's going to be out in front of these millions of people in New York City. But I was like, well, I made peace of it in my head. So I was like, well, nobody knows me here. I guess I'll just do it. Whatever. They said they were paying me well. Whatever. So I do it. They're like, okay, go time. And I rip off my one piece, and my dick's out, and I hear the crowd go like, and I didn't know if they were impressed or they were like, dude, where is it? I can't see it. Because it was so cold. Maybe it went up into my body. I was thinking, what's going on? But I was like, I'm not going to make eye contact with anybody. I'm just gonna lay down, get this over with, and go home. And that's pretty much what happened. They did, like the third or fourth take, the AD came over, the assistant director comes over. He's like, so I guess we can't have you 100% nude. So then they gave me this little triangle piece of cloth to cover myself. And they had my leg go over my dick, kind of like flopped over my dick. And So then we did it. So that was like the first experience I had with nudity in Hollywood. Then when I went from New York City to Los Angeles, my very first audition was for this theater. It was for a play, and I did a monologue. The director was there. He liked it or whatever, and then he said, "Okay, I need you to pull down your pants." Excuse me? He said, "So this is for theater. You know, it's a very small area to change in on the side of the theater in the wings." So I was like, "Okay, well, I've done theater my whole life." Hold on, let me get out of the sun again. This is crazy. It's like a terrible time to do a video, right? And the sun's going down. I'm just gonna pull over. So, my lordy, Sonny. All right. So then I said, like, I'm familiar with how theater works. I have no problem changing in front of other people and all that. And he's like, "Well, you need to prove it." I was like, "No, I'll show." I was like, "Look, I told you guys that I didn't care about showing my ass." So I told this guy, I was like, "Well, I'll pull down my pants so you can see like that I'm comfortable with showing my ass, but that's all I'm gonna do." He's like, "No, I really need you to just pull your pants down, show me that you're comfortable changing in front of other people." And I wouldn't do it. So I was like, "Well, I guess good luck on this, but I'm not going to be part of this." And I left and walked out. Meanwhile, there's just, I don't know, there's like 50 dudes. And mind you, in Hollywood, this is kind of not just Hollywood, it's industry wide. In this industry, it's just, we become actors, we become often very desperate to work, to be seen, to be discovered. And that's why I was there. It was like, I was doing theater for free. It's like I mentioned in another video, it's kind of what we do. We work for free for a long time. It's, paying our dues. We're getting experience, getting exposure. And that's why we do these kinds of things. So there's like 50 guys just outside for this stupid little show. I don't know if they knew what they were about to get into, but when I walked out, all these guys were out there. I was like, "Okay, good luck, guys. He wants to see your dick, so have fun." And I left. And the sad part for me was knowing that there was guys there. They obviously, I don't know if the history of this theater, but I'm assuming this is not their first time where they ask for this kind of things, to see a bunch of naked dudes. So, and by the way, I should say, like, the play itself had no nudity, which was the bizarre thing. I think this director, or I don't even know if he owned the theater or what. He's just some friggin' creep that you hear about every so often, and what you're hearing about a lot in Hollywood lately. But what was sad to me was that out of these guys, all these guys that auditioned, some of these guys did. They pulled down their pants, had no problem showing this guy their dick, or maybe they did. But like I said, when you're building your career, it's like you do stupid stuff sometimes. So I can't blame anybody for not being able to say no, or not being able to have confidence to be like, I don't need to do this play. So anyway, I wanted to share that, and I think that's good enough for today. But next week, I think I'll probably cover kind of how I got started in the industry, how I got my agent. I think that's pretty important. A lot of people ask me straight up, how did I get started? So they can kind of compare what I did and see if that's a good avenue for them. How I got my first agent. That's always a good question. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you're still enjoying the videos. Please keep commenting. Let me know what you want to see more of, what you want to hear less about. Anything, any comments at all. And keep those